favorite radio station.
This is Afro Vibes Radio Houston.
She's blessed and beautiful, innocent yet vulnerable. But strangers came and took advantage of her, raped her and extorted her purse of valuable and inestimable treasures. Her hair was shaved and apparel seized, but yet her beauty remained undiluted. You call her mother, we call her Africa. And today, my name is Tosin and I'm welcoming you to the first edition of Reading Africa on Afro Vibe Radio, the #1 online radio station. And this beautiful evening, we have special guests in the building. We have Abimbola, a recording artist. She's a phenomenal singer and songwriter. You're welcome, Abimbola.
Thank you so much for having me.
And all the way from Detroit.
Motor City.
Oh,
Yeah, what?
A special guest, Tolu Mudashiru Adetamiwa.
Okay, because I was about to say.
Don't play.
I was about to say. Hello.
All right, and our very special guest this evening will be a life coach, a pastor, a mentor, our very own PB, Pastor Bali
Don't forget
of Jesus House Houston.
Sure. Thank you very much. Glad to be here for a show. Exciting.
So how's it been, Pastor?
It has been an exciting journey. We are grateful. Glad to be here with you guys.
I mean,
Houston's a great place to be.
We're really honored to have you here. I mean, he's a phenomenal pastor, and we're really excited to have you on this show. Please tell us more about Jesus House Houston.
Absolutely. Jesus House Houston is a community church. We've been here in the Houston area for about 4 years. Our passion is really to turn people out back into the community. A lot of times people feel like church is a place where they go like 7 days a week. My passion is to make sure that people are equipped to do life, Monday through Saturday. It's not enough to just come on Sunday and say, hey, we praise God, but do you have skills? Do you have tools? Does the Bible tell you anything? The Bible talks about Jesus Christ being the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, which means that he's still as relevant today as he ever was. So for me, it's all about bringing the word in a practical way that people can go and exercise.
Can relate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand. That's good. Anyway, so we are really excited to have you here once again. Today we have we want to talk about what concerns us, as Africans, as human beings generally. We know that you would continue to be the same person you are in 5 years, except for the book you read, the information that is available to you, or the association you keep. So we know essentially we are people baked by relationships. So our relationships help to remold our lives. And today, I mean, relationship is such a broad topic. We want to look into intimate relationships, and how our experience as Africans. So we would like you to share some light about, relationships, parenting, dating, things that, about relationships in the diaspora.
Okay, sorry to cut you off, but I have a question for Pastor Bali.
Okay.
Or do I choose PB? Which one do you prefer?
No, PB.
I think I'll stick to PB.
My condition is always that never use make some steps, is that we have made the culture and the environment welcoming to everyone.
Okay.
So it's a mix. When we say mix in Jesus House, it's really a mix of, yes, first generation immigrants, people like myself who came here for college, first degree, things like that. And we have a gamut of people that range from, born and bred in the US, to maybe came here at a young age, and then a few people like myself. So the key thing has always been, making sure that everything we're doing is open up. The culture is important, but for me it's also a big passion that the Lord has placed in my heart is about the generation. So it's about, if we have to quantify, I say millennials. That's who we're primarily called to. But yeah, for me, it's just being intentional. It's just about making sure that this environment is something everyone can be at home in, and making sure church is not a judgment.
Do you think Nigerians mix up culture with religion?
To be very fair, everyone mixes culture and religion. That everyone does.
So what's the difference?
What is the difference? I think the challenge, I'll quantify that. I think that unfortunately, a lot of the African cultural traditions line up with Jewish traditions. So it has become easy for us to conflate the two, and we mix. So for example, when the Bible talks about honoring your elders, our culture also talks about honoring your elders, but then we now conflate your ability to conform to the cultural context in the religious way.
Yeah.
So if you're disrespectful, right, you're not only told that you are culturally wrong, but you're also told that you're religiously wrong, right? That your God is going to punish you.
Yeah.
But they're trying to compound issues. I don't think that,
But Nigerians do go overboard with that. That's what I mean.
but Nigerians go over everything.
I mean, and that really is strong with our relationship, because we find out that there's a lot that we do that it's from tradition, and for instance you expected, like in Africa you have a situation where a scenario where a man marries like 4 or 5 wives, and or like a man is not expected to go to the kitchen to help the wife, just sit there and the wife prepares the dish and come serve you. And like when your parents come to visit and they see you like you're helping your wife to wash dishes and do all that, it reflects the man as being weak, because that's in the African setting, like in the old setting.
Do you think they're thinking of it as weak or disrespectful? Because there's a difference.
I think it's more of disrespect.
It's more of disrespect.
Because they expect the woman to do everything.
So
when they see the man doing it's
disrespectful
wrong.
from the woman and being weak on the side of the man, because they see you as a king. I mean, you just command. You say, "I want this. Get this for me." You understand?
So I think that topic is a combination of culture to some extent, but I think changing times on the other. So even if you were to go back to Africa today, if you were to go back to the city areas, the way that marriages are done today is not the same way that they were done 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my dad maybe 6 years ago or so now, and I have a sister who got married in the mid-90s, and she got married in Lagos. My parents got married in 1971 in a city called Ilorin. And I remember telling my dad, I said, marriage from 1971 in Ilorin is different from marriage of 1994 in Lagos to marriage 2014 in Dallas, Texas. The times and location and circumstances have changed. One thing I will say about our parents and that generation is I feel for them. I really empathize, because you realize that in their generation, in their lifetime, the world has been transformed. When they were born, when they were going to school, they didn't have any technology. They were walking to school.
Which in a way makes it a lot easier.
Well,
I mean, it minimizes, they're not as vulnerable as this generation.
True, and yes, that's absolutely a valid point. But the point I'm making is, for centuries before them, the world was one way, and then in one lifetime, it changed. So now they're dealing with us, and we're telling them things are different. And they're like, no, it's not.
It's like
been like this.
It's a
culture
shock.
They're like, no, what are you talking about? And we look at them like they're being mean, but always don't
Look
forget.
at old school.
They're old school.
They're being mean, and all of
They
these
don't
have been
get it.
traditional. Which they are, and by the way, some of those things are true, because some of our parents can do the most. I will concede that. But you feel for them that they've had to, some of them have had an easier go at it than others. They have to make this life change, in one generation that their forefathers didn't. It wasn't even a thing, right? So, and then now you add this added element of we're now in the West. Some of us are now out of Africa. So we're in Europe, we're in North America, and life is a whole different ball game, minus the technology and all those things that have come into play. So when they now visit from Africa to here, it's like, whoa.
I never looked at it like that. That's scary.
That's
That's scary.
But I will say, as far as the solution to the question, I will say that it really is just communication. You know, if the parents have issues with the way things are done, I think it's always communication. I think it's being open with them and telling them, hey, this worked when you were in your time and your place, but in our time and place.
That's also disrespectful.
That's what I was about to say. You can't really tell them that. You can't tell them
You can tell them. How they take it is up to them.
But then that's the thing, they don't take it well. That's the thing, that's the problem. They really don't take it well. It's almost as if I know what. But now that you explain it, it is a culture shock. Like,
yeah, it is.
If my child was to go like completely left, I would think the same thing. But I would still be open. I feel like my generation, we're more open. Definitely.
Yeah, but we were built that way. We were built with open minds. They were built with rinse and repeat. Do it the same way, over and over, year in, year out.
Of course, because we are exposed to a lot of information. Now, but the thing is how it's a thing of maturity to be able to handle all the the various exposures that we have, and I think that's the concern for our parents in them not being trusting that we can handle stuff by ourselves. So they try to shield us, and they don't want you to get exposed to certain things because they are safe in their own ways.
They're very safe. No. They're very safe.
Thinking about it in their own perspective, they would say it worked for them.
Once again, this is Rhythm Africa on Afro Vibes Radio, the #1 online radio station, and Pastor B. So, welcome back. Now, it's in the olden times, our parents, women are not as empowered as they are right now, and that brings a lot of equality and all of that.
But I do feel that that's a good and a bad thing. But I don't let people talk.
Okay, so and tell us about that. And
you alluded to one thing in terms of the dynamic of the wives in the marriage, but I think I will make a broad generational difference in terms of why the differences between the relationships then and now. The biggest difference is that our society has become more instantaneous. So we're in what they call the microwave generation. We want everything, we want it now. So you get married today, or you're dating today, and it's not what you feel, it's not what you think it should be today. You're out, right? And divorce is so easy, and all these things are so easy. In our parents' day, all these processes, divorce, separation, society built in so many blocks that they were so hard to do. In our generation, we're like, man, I'm not feeling this guy, I'm not feeling this girl. I'm out. It's so easy. You get a lawyer, you do the thing, sign, and you move on. I can see a couple today and not see them for 4 weeks. Hey, where's your love? It's separated. It shouldn't be that easy. It really shouldn't, right? So I think that the inability to wait, the inability to cater to someone else, that's another thing. Our generation is heavily self-centered. I think social media has also made us very narcissistic as a generation because we're all about likes. We're all about putting this impression forward, things that make me happy. When advertising is always trying to tell you that you should be happy, you should be happy now, and you should take away things that don't make you happy. Well, guess what? That's a lie. You're not going to be happy all the time. And you marry an imperfect person, you're dealing with imperfect people. That's not just for romantic relationships, that's for relationships across the board. So our parents, one of the things that they did, if you talk to them, they'll tell you that, did they like everything about each other all the way on day one? No. But they stuck through it and they found equilibrium over time. Our generation doesn't want to do that. Now there are also issues about warped roles that have been thrown off over time. Men, the absence of, pastors will say it, the absence of real godly, honorable men who know what it is to really stand for your family. That's gone out the door. One of the things that breaks my heart is issues of infidelity, for example. There are communities where it's expected for a man, to not keep one wife or have all kinds of games going on. I'm like, what kind of rubbish is this?
But our grandparents, they had 4 wives.
Our grandparents still operated, right, in what was the norm of their day. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that was the norm. We know better. What's that saying? If you know better, do better. So now we know better. And now this thing is seen as wrong, but somehow we've been able to accept it. So the men are no longer seen as protectors and providers. The men are now basically, I hate to say it, like a man-child. So you're not seeing yourself as a person who's supposed to provide and protect. You're seeing yourself as a lord and master. That was never what the Bible intended. You know, and sometimes it says, you know, the man is the head of the house, but we have misunderstood, you know, or we've thrown, I would say, our carnal and fleshy descriptions onto the word head. You know, so the head now means you cannot talk back to me, you must do what I say, and if you come from Africa, I must get the biggest piece of meat. that has become what the man is, and that was not what Christ intended. So I think those are some of the issues. You know, you could also go, you know, to ladies as well. You know, the word submission has become a dirty word, and I think
It's like slavery.
Yeah.
yes, I think that in today's world, people hear that word, that's what they think, right? But we don't take the time to fully understand.
But I feel also that the men of these days have caused the women to be like that. Because it's easy to submit to somebody that, you know is right, you know,
Right.
but it gets when you've been cheated on once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, and you know, back then people used to be discreet about cheating. People are not discreet about it anymore. It's always like
It's branded now.
yeah.
So my response to that is always this: if you're dating a bad guy, leave him. Why do we have to marry the bad guy?
I mean, love is a powerful
Yeah, so
statement.
I guess my question is, how do you deal with
that? When they say love is blind, I say, yes, love is blind. My love wears glasses. Jesus. Yeah.
PB. But sometimes some people use they mean, or when they say submission, to some people it actually means endure. You're there to just endure whatever you see, you accept it like that. Are not entitled to any opinion or whatever your husband has said, just take it like you said. Some people say that the Lord and Master, is that the right way we're supposed to take
now,
a
I don't even
relationship?
think that could even happen.
Maybe it happened back then when our parents were married or something.
Weren't working. Now you have women who are bringing in more income than their man, and they're like, I'm not gonna submit to you. I make more money than you. You know, so it's like. No, that's not right.
It could
I'm
get a little
definitely
bit.
not saying it's right. It's not right. Of
Okay.
course, you know, it doesn't matter if your husband is making $1 or 100 million. You should love him the same and submit the same. But
Okay.
is it really? It's almost as if when you have $100 in your account and then people say you start acting brand new when all of a sudden you have 100 million. I am going to act brand. I have 100 million in my account. It's true. Something changes. Something changes. You
Okay.
cannot say you will be the same person you are when you have $1 in your account and be the same person as when you have 100.
But how do you balance that change?
Well,
It will happen sometimes, but how do you balance the change
It's very
that it will not
important.
end up being something else?
no, and that's why we have PB here because I
Okay.
don't.
Okay, so PB, you need to rescue us.
Oh man, I got heavy lifting. So we're skipping a couple of very key steps.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you guys are on the step of we married, you know, man, how do I say this nicely? You married a coconut head.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
First of all, this goes back to, and this is why I'm so close to single folks, because I'm like, I need y'all to get this right now.
Okay.
I tell the ladies that, understand this. The coconut head that you date and you love, understand that when you get married and he says rubbish, I can only help you so much, because then you're there.
It boils down to foundation.
Yes.
Where did you start from?
Yes. So the point about, you know, the kind of guys that are out there and what they're doing, I think that is a question of, well, who are we picking? What kind of mates are we picking? I'm very quick to say that, look, when you're with a joker, stop wasting your time. If you know that these people are jokers, let them go. No matter how handsome, no matter how much
But PB, you also know that there's also the chances of people change. Like, that's constant in life. I mean, I mean, way back in school.
Oh, you're saying like they can get better.
Yeah, they get better or they get worse.
So I should marry, you should
No,
marry the Joker and pray that he gets better.
No, not pray that he gets better. I'm just saying that it happens in life. You see some people who they like serious, like they have their head in the game, and 10 years down the line they become a different person, entirely different from who you met 10 years ago, by the reason of the relationship, the company they keep, and the things they are exposed to in their place of work, and like that.
So you're saying even the person who you thought was good
before.
can
Yeah, he can.
But how do you actually know the ones that will be good? It's scary. Oh my God.
So the first one is picking right.
Yeah.
That's
valid. That's valid.
Step 2, I would say, is making sure that God is involved in what you're doing. Because I want to say God is involved, not just that you are praying to God, but that also that the person you're with, guy or girl, I always tell this to both people, like make sure that this other person is also praying and you guys are praying together as a unit. Every marriage has 3 people in it, it's not 2. Right? So the point you're bringing up about what changes down the line, by the way, even the best people, me sitting here, there's some ways that I'm better off than when I got married, and there's some ways that I'm definitely worse off than when I got married. I wish my wife was here so she can tell you the ways I'm worse. But you have a good point. All of us evolve relative to so many things that are happening around us, right? That being said, there is a core. I believe, I'm a strong believer in trajectory, right? Where you're going, right, and how you get there is a function of where you're starting from. If I'm trying to get to Dallas and I'm starting from Houston, it's very different from if I'm starting from Austin, right, or if I'm starting from New Orleans. So everything is a matter of where you're starting from. Understand the starting point. When you go in with a negative starting point, is it possible to get better? Yes. Do you have a more complex journey?
Yeah.
Yes. So make your journey of life simpler.
Yeah.
By the way, marrying the right person does not make life easy.
No.
I mean, I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
That does not guarantee that life's going to be easy, but it means that at least you know that, okay, I'm on the same page with this person. Right?
I mean,
So-
because you can find happiness in the broke.
Absolutely. One thing I don't know why God put this on my heart recently. I'm telling you, newly married couples, people who are dating, engaged, understand that these vows we're saying, better, worse, richer, poorer, you know that these things are all hypothetical. You've never really been richer or poorer.
Yeah.
You've never really seen the person sick. You don't know that they're going to crush you out when they get sick. But we say this because it's so romantic. I love you.
Whatever.
What happens, like, have you ever lost your job?
That's true.
With a mortgage?
You've not been there yet.
We're married young and dating, right? So we only ever lived in apartments. Have you ever lost your job, went back to America, is on your back?
Oh my
See what the person
goodness.
turns into, right? So if we start with someone who we're on the same page with, when those life battles hit, even when the bad friends and the bad influences happen, the odds of them going too far off the reservation is minimized because, okay, I started off from a good place. So even if I go off, I'm not going too far off. And all of us, men, women, we all veer, good or bad. Hopefully we come back to where we should be, but life hits, life changes, we move, we change jobs, we get older, we just grow. And so some ages come and you realize, man, I really sucked when I was 25 to 30. But I really become wiser when I'm, in 30 to 35. Or when you hit your 50s, you realize, oh man, my 40s were really bad, right? So all of us, we go through those moments. I think the key thing is starting off, being careful who we're starting with, right? And that's a question of values, where we're talking about immigrants now. One of the biggest challenges is when you're outside the place where you're a minority, finding people who have the same values as you. So it's not, and I don't necessarily mean the same nationality, but the value system. Because when you're abroad, people can be from where you're from and have different values.
Exactly.
That's the first thing you have to draw the lines on. So find similar values, then you make sure the person is perhaps a Christian, they got their head on their shoulders, and you're going the same direction. You talk about life, talk about your goals, it's all heading the same direction. Talk about marriage, the right ideas. When we're dating, ask about family, ask about their parents.
PB, I have
Tell me.
just Okay.
Okay.
That's all good when you're like 24, when you like 30, but when you get to like 34, it's like, well, you know,
The first one I'll be
he
less years.
doesn't really have to know God.
Okay. He just has to go to church.
He doesn't have to go to church on Sunday.
Okay.
I would
We
change
can do
it.
You don't have to be holy.
You don't gotta be holy.
Just a little bit.
It's hard.
You start to
You
compromise.
I mean,
You really-
PB already said it. Like, our generation is the microwave generation. We want everything
Now.
No, but even to go back to that, like, you have people, like, when you're in your 30s, you're just like, you're ready, right? But it's like you've sort of been in a marriage with somebody you were dating already. So it's almost like, well, I used to cook for him, clean for him, and he still didn't put a ring on it. So I think when they get to marriage, it's like, I mean, when it gets to somebody that they are dating to marry, you sort of become drawn away. Like, I'm not doing this for him, and that sort of hinders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sort of hinders. You're not supposed to.
We're about to take another break. But before we do, I think I want to add something to that. I think it's very important that you stay with your friend, because that way you grow together. You can go through life together, and you know.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Your friend, like you marry for friendship, much more than marry for love. Because with your friend, you grow, like, we fall in and out of love. But when you stay with your
like
friend,
you're saying,
do
marry
you understand?
somebody
So
who-
you're understanding your value system, you can grow, you can help each other along the journey. Alright, so we'll be right back in a few. So, welcome back. So just before we round up, PB, can you tell us what you have going on, coming soon, Jesus House, what the upcoming events, and where can we find you, online, social media?
Absolutely. Next month we have our anniversary, 4 years. It's been amazing. Oh yeah. Jesus House of Blues. We have some amazing people. Mr. Shola Yola is going to be coming back through. He's going to be playing sax, of course. Miss Palmera, lovely, talented singer, and Mr. Kevin Burns on spoken word and poetry will be coming through. So that's going to be on August the 3rd, 6 o'clock at the Residence Inn on Beltway 8th and Clay Road. I always call that like a really intimate time of worship. If you love going to, like, poetry nights, open mic, this will be, that similar type of event. And then on the first Sunday, I think it's September 1st, we have something we're calling Church in the Park. So it's a, barbecue / family day / service. So there will actually be church. It will literally be church in the park. So there'll be praise and worship. There'll be the word. There will be offering.
Food.
There'll be food. There will be food. But yeah, that is one of those things where I'm a strong believer that, look, church was not meant to be this little static thing that doesn't move, doesn't change. We can go out and do it differently, fellowship with each other.
So you're gonna be there?
Unfortunately, I'll be in Detroit, but I'll be there in spirit.
Okay.
We'll FaceTime you. We'll FaceTime you.
No, don't FaceTime me.
She doesn't like to see
I don't want to see.
The best way to follow us for the church, the mobile app is your best friend. Just download Jesus House Houston, and then Instagram is at Jesus House Houston. Facebook Jesus House Houston. Me, I'm on Instagram at BAT Akogun. Just my initials and my last name. So BAT Akogun on Instagram.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So.
Don't be DMing my pastor.
Yeah, no.
So we'll just be sending our prayer requests. Nothing personal.
I need to start I need to manage it, man. We need to start managing these prayer requests because they're piling up.
It's piling up.
All right. So Abimbola. So tell us about your what's new. What should we expect?
I know you all forgot me here.
I know for a fact she has a brand new song. It's about to
It's
release.
beautiful. I heard it. It's beautiful. But can you tell us, because it's in another language, so we want to know what we're seeing, what we're saying.
Okay, the song is something I've been working on for a while now. anything good, you need to work on it to
Yeah.
make it
Work it and make it work.
Yeah.
to make it better. And the title is called A Niño.
A niño.
I don't want it to twist your tongue, but A Niño means
Somebody.
people,
People.
someone, and like it's a song that reaches out to children of God, everybody that God created,
The
that
handmaid
are
of God.
sole purpose.
You have a part. It says, "You're so beautiful." What song?
I don't hear that song.
I'll be following you on the
Okay, all right. So I'm about to play the song. shortly.
Yeah, it's something that I'm really happy about, and I have a lot of things coming up.
So who produced this song?
Anybody we know?
The producers right here are one and only Tosin Paul. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I thought you did good work.
Okay. Yeah, it's really something that I've been. A lot has gone into it. For those people that know me, it's been a long time coming, and I'm happy that it's going to be out in August. The date will be. Anyone can follow me on
Yeah.
Instagram.
So where do we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Bimbola Music. Don't twist your tongue. Bimbola Music. Yes, on
All my friends are
Facebook too.
My friends are
Ballers.
You be getting
Ballers are ballers.
guys. Okay, you be getting information about concerts and programs coming soon on Instagram and other social media.
And we are accepting DMs.
Yes,
it doesn't
we
have
are.
to be prayer requests, but DMs.
So tell us what's new.
About me, I'll talk to you about my husband.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, they broke the internet.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk to you. I just moved to Detroit. I'm not a singer or a pastor. I'm just me.
Holy shit.
She's a good makeup artist.
And a wonderful cook.
Oh, don't be saying that. I'm gonna think, how you know I'm a cook? First of all, wait a minute.
She's like, first of all,
First of all,
I
my
know.
God.
okay. But yeah, be in Detroit. So anytime, Detroit.
Okay, so Bimbola, you have one more question for PB before we run it?
PB. A lot of us are stuck in this situation. I'm about to say.
You know, it's real when
Do you want me to say PB?
I'm here for you. Tell me.
PB, is this friend zone?
Oh,
We're tired.
that one is.
We're tired of this friend zone, PB. I will want to get out of this friend zone. We don't want to be in here no more.
we're accepting DMs.
No. I thought you had something complex. That one is an easy one. Let me tell you how we get stuck in the
The
friend
Lord
zone.
is about to answer your question.
Yeah. In fact, I'll give you this one for free. I won't charge you this time.
Okay.
We get stuck in the friend zone because we stay there too long. I think that there is a window where we're not sure, right? Do we want to move this beyond friendship? A lot of us, when we know that change has been made, we still stay in the friend zone and we're waiting for God to make some heavenly orchestration to
My
say
son.
To move us away.
The light is green.
No. And unfortunately, I think this maybe comes into culture and comes into Christianity because we're all taught to be a little, reserved and don't say anything until it's like some kind of divinely orchestrated because you don't want to come off as being
timing.
Yes, perfect timing. You don't come off as being forward.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? While you're not being forward, somebody else is stating their intentions.
Yeah.
And poof, right?
My husband friend zoned me in
Are you
college. What? He
kidding me?
straight friend zoned me.
How did you get out of there?
Oh, he came back.
Okay.
We reconnected.
No. I think in any relationship, clarity is your best friend. The moment that you know that there's a feeling here, I think there's a fine line between making it clear that you feel a certain way and being forward. I think that's the line that people struggle with, but I think we should always be clear. I think we should always be clear but subtle. I think maybe that's the way I should say it. right? But not so subtle that you're misunderstood.
Like you push them away.
I know we
Yes.
cannot finish all the questions, but there are cases where, you know, we've been friends for like 2 years, 3 years, 5
That's too long.
years. You understand?
No.
And
And you're suffering in silence?
Yeah.
Ah.
and sister does not want to take it beyond friendship, but brother is stuck in friendship, you know, like
So that's what you described as the problem. Why are we getting to 2 years? That's
Maybe sometimes fear of not losing
So-
my friend. What is she gonna say?
So that is
Oh,
true,
like,
right?
What is he
Trying to
gonna
get
say if I
himself.
tell her my feelings?
If I can be perfectly honest, I've been there. I know people who've been there who've said things to me, right? And you know, this is way back when, right? You say things to people, or you know, people who understand. I'm like, look, say it. It's one thing to say it, and if you're really friends, guess what? There'll be yes or there'll be no, and we move on. Now, when you come on too strong, that's when you made it awkward, right? If you could just drop a little hint, you drop a little statement, but you're clear, right? Once that happens, okay, you know, we've said what we need to say. It's good, it's bad, it's ugly, I agree. Sometimes it can come back around. So like Tolu said, right? You know, he didn't see it the first time, but he came back around, right?
Right.
But if we know it's there, it's there.
And so, PB, you're gonna come back around because this discussion is gonna go on and on again. It's been wonderful having you on the show. Thank you so
Awesome,
much.
Thank you for
awesome
having
being
me.
here.
Thank you, Tolu. Thank you,
Thank
Bimbola, and we look forward to seeing you.
So
again.
where's my goodie bag?
Yeah, I know. After
Somewhere
the
down
recording.
here.
Somewhere,
All right.
somewhere down with.
All right, on to the next time we come your way. Please stay connected to Afro Vibe Radio and follow us on Instagram, Afro Vibe Radio, and we look forward to having
Thank you,
you.
Brother Tosin.
Thank you.
TP. Oh,